Hello and welcome to Sister. We are so glad that you tuned in to meet us. We are 5 determined, beautiful, awesome women of God. And we come to the questions and problems of the world from a biblical perspective. And this one is from a personal heart perspective. Listen to this. All right, girls, the Bible tells us to leave our parents and cleave to our spouse. How do you do that and still honor your mom and dad? And was it a hard transition for you? And when I read this question, I said, no, it wasn't, because I was 19. And as George was carrying me out, I was saying, where's my mom? So no. I was still cleaving, but I've learned 44 years later, we're okay. What do you girls think?
I always want to hear the adjectives you use to describe us at the beginning. I'm always like waiting for my daily dose of self-esteem boost from Kathy.
You got it.
But no, I got married young too, and I found the transition extremely difficult. I grew up in a town where all of my relatives lived within a few block radius of everyone. We're from the Pittsburgh area. I mean, it was a very hard transition. We went to a church where both sets of our parents attended. Okay. You know, it was just a very, very difficult transition, especially because I was the oldest, so I didn't have a sibling that went before me, and it was detrimental to our marriage. I want to say, like, the first couple years of our marriage were the hardest years of marriage for us, and I think it was because of that whole that pulling, that leaving and cleaving. We ended up moving to Connecticut, and it was the best thing for our marriage. It was devastating to my family. It was devastating to me. I couldn't imagine living far away, but it was the absolute best thing for our marriage. We joined a church. We became, you know, our own family unit. We, you know, got involved in that church without, you know, being the son and daughter of so-and-so. And it was just so good for our marriage. I know that's not always the path for everyone, but I know without a shadow of a doubt that the Lord had us move out of state, far away, so that we could do that. And now we're back in Pittsburgh, and the Lord has just made it that we have our family unit, and it's just so much better.
And that's touching someone, your answer. Thank you. Good
job.
And
I never left my town.
Or your mother.
Yeah, my mom's still here. She's always here. You know, reflecting on it, it says cleave to your spouse. And what I could remember with my parents is they respected my spouse. So if I have any words of wisdom to give, and it's not mine, it's my parents, really, they respected my husband. They respected our relationship with one another. I mean, they were there for us, but they respected that. They didn't talk badly about my husband, or when they saw things, they kept their mouth quiet so we could work it out.
See, that's what that generation does.
Yeah, so,
our generation, not so much.
So show some respect if you're a parent. And so I'm trying to learn that.
That's right.
Show respect for my children's friends and so on, and people that they get involved with. And let them cleave, let them. So that issue of respect goes back to actually the parents' responsibility.
Yeah. I agree. My mom did the exact same thing, Roxy. I was all mad, newlywed, and I called my mom to say, Buck did this and Buck did that. And she said, Amy, you go right back to your husband and you guys work it out. Love ya.
Yep.
And she made me leave and cleave, whether I want. I was like, but okay, well, thank you. So, you know, and to honor your parents is to make a big deal of them. You can honor your parents and make a big deal of them while you're cleaving to your husband and spouse.
Good one. I can't wait to hear you leave and cleave.
Well, no. You know, actually, my story lines up with my 2 sisters, and I definitely agree with what Corey was saying. I just think that in order for me to cleave, I don't have to dishonor my parents. Although I will tell you, I did a horrible job in the beginning of the marriage. I am TV. I shouldn't have said that. My husband I did a lot of growing in the beginning stages, and I come from a close-knit family, and my expectations were just unrealistic, and you know, but because I had good parents and because they had the wisdom that they did, they helped me to leave and cleave. Now, what did I do with that wisdom? I still called Daddy when I needed something. I still called Uncle this one when I needed something. And I think my husband, just the background that he came from, for some reason, it really wasn't that big of an issue for us.
Right, so you don't have any trouble with leaving.
I don't know that I ever left.
Yeah. Well, that's what we're saying. You moved away, which was really good. It sounded like God did that. And you moved away, which caused you and Buck to just become closer, and your mission together was so great.
And right now, I'm longing for my parents so deeply. You know, 20 years we've been in Pittsburgh, and I long to, you know, go to lunch with them any day I want. And it's a battle.
That makes me cry because I long for my mom and dad who are in heaven. So when you're ready to leave and cleave, hold on one side on the cleave and go to Texas, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, wherever on the other hand. And we're happy that you tuned in to hear our opinions and our ideas and our answers on this Leave It and Cleave It. We got all kinds of good stuff for you, so find us next time on Sister to Sister.